All right, and here we go. I'm going to go ahead and add um, speed to our vehicle. At the moment, we're able to roll, we're able to pitch. So W and S controls pitch, A and D controls roll. Your left and your right arrows, they control yaw. So that's what I got set up in the last video, but our vehicle is going nowhere. We're just kind of like sitting in one place and able to rotate and move around. Now I want to be able to actually make the vehicle move. So we're going to go back to Visual Studio, and we're going to need some more variables here. So right here at the beginning of our public variables here, I'm going to create two lines, and we're going to need a public Boolean variable that we're going to call throttle up. That's going to be equal to, and that's the equal symbol and the greater than symbol. So equal, greater than, what this means is a pointer. And we are going to do input dot get key. And the key we're looking for is key code dot up arrow. And that's going to be our throttle up input. And then we're going to also have a throttle down key. And that will be equals greater than symbol input dot get key. And the key code we're looking for is the down arrow. So our up arrow and our down arrow, we're going to be directly accessing those key presses through these two public Boolean variables. We're also going to need some variables to help handle the speed of our vehicle as it's moving, and how we're going to change that speed over time. So we'll need a public float that we're going to call speed. And we're going to need a public float called velocity. Now, if we've got those four variables set up, we're going to go down to the update method. So now here in the update method, we've gotten our input from the user about how we want to roll, pitch, and yaw. In between getting that input and executing the roll, pitch, and the yaw, I also want to check to see. I'm going to check for throttle up. So if throttle up, that means if that's true, then there's some things I want to do here. If it's true, then my speed is going to be plus equaled by our velocity variable. That will increase our speed. Next, we're going to check for throttle down, else if throttle down Pardon me while I break my code. Forgot to put the if right there. Boy, that sure generated a lot of red lines. Else if throttle down, speed minus equals velocity. So we're going to decrease our speed. And then what we need to do here is make the vehicle move. That will involve transform dot position plus equals transform dot forward times time dot delta time times our speed variable. Now, if I save my script and go back to Unity, wait a moment here, I'm going to see some public variables show up over here. And let's see. Speed I'm going to go with. Start off with 5 and a velocity of 0.1. All right, and let me see what happens here. Yep, we're moving. We're moving, but there's a problem. The camera is not following, is it? I can rotate. I'm surprised I've successfully not crashed yet into the train, but the camera's not following it. So let's get the camera to follow it. If your view isn't already set so that your game view kind of matches your scene view, if you have your scene view oriented here so that we're looking from the back of your vehicle, if you've got your scene view oriented like that, you can select your camera, press Control key, Shift key, hold them down, and then the F key, and that will reset the camera so that the camera is looking directly at your vehicle from behind. And then what I'm going to do is, this is a simple way to make this work for right now. I'm going to take the camera and I'm going to make it a child of my prototype. Later on, I'm going to take that out. So we're going to break that relationship. We're going to remove the camera from the prototype. So for the moment, please, if you select your prototype, don't apply that override, okay? Don't apply it. Because later on, we're going to strip the camera back out. We don't want to create a problem for that. But for right now, you'll see that with the camera stuck in there, now I am following my vehicle. And I can roll, pitch, and yaw. But it doesn't feel like I'm flying. And I can speed myself up, so I can kind of feel like I'm flying, but still, the whole camera rotates with the whole thing. It's kind of an awkward feel. And we're going to work on that in the next video. But for right now, we're going to try to get the flying to smooth out a little bit here. So I'm going to set speed to 10. And I'm getting a little velocity here. And I'm even getting a little bit of the feel of flying here, although it's kind of a crazy feel. There's an issue here. Granted, I can slow myself down and I can speed myself up. And if you look at your speed right there, my speed just keeps growing and growing and growing. If I hold that button down, I can go to a very, very high amount of speed. And I want to limit this to keep me within a certain range here. I don't want to be able to be going too fast. Also, I don't want the plane, once it's in the air and flying, I don't want it to go too slow. So I'm going to go back to my script here. And in my script, right after we check for throttle up and for throttle down, before I make the transform move, make sure we have not exceeded speed limits. In other words, I'm going to set a limit for the slowest the vehicle can go and the fastest it can go. And we're always going to keep our speed somewhere in that range. So before we can do that, we need to jump back up here. And, after our speed and velocity variables, we're going to need a new public that we're going to call, and it's a float, that we're going to call minimum speed. And we're going to set a public float we're going to call max speed. I'm going to go ahead and change minimum to just min speed. So min speed and max speed. Now with those two set right there, I'm going to be checking, am I exceeding my limits? So if my speed is trying to be greater than or equal to max speed, there's something I want to do. Otherwise, else if, check to see if we've hit minimum speed. In this case, I'm looking to see if my speed is trying to be less than or equal to my min speed. If that's the case, I want to do something. And so in the first case, if I'm trying to be greater than or equal to my max speed, I want my speed to just simply be equal to max speed. And if my speed's trying to be less than my minimum speed, I'll just set my speed equal to my minimum speed. That will always keep my speed value it'll keep it within the limits of the fastest I want it to go and the slowest that I want it to go. And that will take care of accounting for speed limits. So I'll save my script here and return to Unity. After it's done updating the script, that I'm going to click save here. And now I'm going to notice that I've got two new public variables here, a minimum speed and a maximum speed. So I'll set my minimum speed to like 10. I'll set my maximum speed to like 100. And then let me press the play button. And if I press my up arrow, you can see that I am increasing in speed. And this kind of flying is it's very jerky. But you will get a feel for it. I fly low enough, I can see my grass. All right. So I think that's going to take care of it for this point. In the next video, I'm going to change the way that the camera is handled so that we can move the camera out of our prototype and have it follow our aircraft. And we're going to add some code to the script that's going to allow it to do that. But that's going to take care of it for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.